If you are looking for some simple meals with simple ingredients, this is the video for you. I am not feeling my best this week. 'Tis the season, the cold and flu season. So simple is the name of the game. We've got some great recipes for you this week that are perfect for when you're feeling under the weather. And be sure to stick around to the last recipe because I'm not making it. Steven is. He decided to take over in the kitchen and it was a treat for me and it will be a treat for you too. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy and this is Mandy in the Making.
You look good with your hair like that.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I love your hair like that. It looks really good.
Thank you.
Give me a profile. Yeah. Thank you. I love it.
You like my double chin too?
You don't have a double chin. Hush.
Okay.
No.
If you can't tell, I'm a little nasally. I'm not feeling my best. Cole has the flu. It's official. He's been sick for about a week. Really hoping I'm not coming down with it, but I was craving some pasta and something very, very simple. I told Steven we have a ton of orzo. That is my favorite pasta. Let me know below, what is your favorite pasta? I wanted to use orzo and he went online and found a recipe that uses everything that we have already here at the house. And it's like a 15-minute recipe. I said, sign me up. Bonus, it's all in one skillet on the stove. Very quick, very easy. You can do it as a vegetarian option, or you can do like we're doing and use the rest of our Thanksgiving turkey that's been frozen that we have thawed out. We're gonna add some protein to it by just warming that turkey through with it. So let's make this. We're gonna be done in no time. So Steven went into our dining room to our indoor garden system and got us some fresh basil and some fresh tomatoes. Now some of these came from the grocery store, but some of these are from our garden. So we just need to do a little prep work now. I'm going to just roughly chop the basil. This basil is so fragrant. I wish y'all could smell it. I would like to thank Boca for sponsoring this portion of the video. Over the past year or so, I've been trying more natural toothpastes, and that's because I just wanted to get away from a lot of the toxins, the fluoride, those types of things. I've tried several kinds and they were meh. And then Boca reached out and said, hey, do you want to try ours? And I said, actually, yes, I do. And while I was excited about it, I did not have super high hopes. But then I got my hands on Boca and I started using it. I've been using it for 4 or 5 months now. I'm not really sure. I've gone through 2 tubes and just got my reorder in. Y'all, it is so good. I started using it first. Now Steven is using it and loving it. So let me tell you why Boca. Why should you choose this brand over other brands of non-toxic toothpastes? So Boca is a nano hydroxyapatite, I looked it up, that's how you say it, toothpaste, which supports tooth and enamel health. If you're like me, you're wondering, what is nano hydroxyapatite and why does that matter? Hydroxyapatite is a form of calcium that makes up the primary foundation of bones and teeth. And while there are several other brands of toothpaste that use the hydroxyapatite, Boca is unique because they use nano hydroxyapatite. That means it's a smaller compound, meaning it can get into the smaller pores of your teeth and become more effective at reducing sensitivity and strengthening your enamel. That's all great and good, but I know people want to know, how does it taste? How does it perform? It tastes wonderful and it's natural flavoring. It's not artificial flavors. It's flavors that you would find in nature, like mint, ginger, lemon, cinnamon. And when you're brushing, it feels like regular toothpaste. It just kind of suds up and it does its thing. I've used a more natural toothpaste before that doesn't feel like it's doing anything. It feels very strange. This one feels like what you're used to toothpaste, but it's non-toxic. It is fluoride free. It is paraben free, sulfate free. It's free of endocrine disruptors and it does all the things it's supposed to. It helps remove plaque. It helps with tooth sensitivity. It helps fight cavities. And it's a toothpaste that's safe to swallow. Boca makes toothpaste for the whole family. So my favorite 2 that I've gone through are the whitening toothpaste and the Element toothpaste, but they have a lot of different flavors and options. And then they also have Boca Kids toothpaste. So when I say the hunt is over for me for fluoride-free, non-toxic toothpaste, I mean it. This is my new toothpaste. This is what we're going to be using from now on. Right now, you can use the link in my description box and use code 15MandyM for 15% of your Boca Amazon order or on their website. And my code 15MandyM will stack on top of the already discounted Boca 3-pack on Amazon, so that's up to a 25% savings. Their best-selling flavor toothpastes are always selling out, so get yours now before they do. This is a really great offer, and I think it's something that you would really enjoy. It would make a great stocking stuffer too. So I encourage you to give it a try. You'll be so happy that you did. We also need to slice 4 garlic cloves. So I'm gonna do that. Now that's done, I'm gonna grab my larger cherry or grape tomatoes from the grocery store and chop those in half because they're pretty big. So I'm gonna wash my hands, but they smell like garlic. A very sweet subscriber sent me this stainless steel bar that you just rub on your hands and it gets rid of onion, garlic, whatever, those scents. It gets rid of it. So let's test it because my hands smelled like garlic. And they no longer smell like garlic at all. Smell.
Wow.
So that worked.
That is amazing.
Thank you so much. We're gonna heat this large skillet to about medium-high heat. Let that come up to temperature. While I'm waiting on my skillet to heat up, I'm just going to finely shred this Parmesan cheese. Like I mentioned, we are using up the leftover turkey that we thawed from the freezer. So I'm gonna chop that up now. No turkey went to waste this year. We were able to use all of it, which is great. It is hot. Let's add some olive oil and we are gonna add our garlic in. So I've got that sliced garlic. We're just gonna infuse this olive oil with that garlic flavor. We're just gonna let this cook for like a minute and then we'll move on. Now let's add in our tomatoes. We're gonna let these cook for about 4 minutes. We really want these tomatoes to soften up and get kind of liquidy-ish. So you see how these have gotten very kind of mushy? We're gonna go with that and we're gonna kind of crush them a little bit. It's been right at 4 minutes. Look at that. That's perfect. This smells so good already. Okay, we're gonna move on. Now we're gonna go in with some heavy cream. I've got about a half a cup here. We have a cup of chicken stock going in, our chicken broth. We've got a cup of orzo going in. Let's stir that around and then we're going to add some salt and pepper in here. I'm gonna be generous with this. And we can always go in and add more at the end if we need to. And pepper. This smells so good already. Oh my word. I'm gonna bring our temperature up to closer to high. We want to bring this up to a boil. B-O-I-L, boil. We are up to a boil. So at this point, we're gonna turn it down to about medium low. We're gonna let this simmer, hang out here for 5 to 8 minutes until our orzo is all good and plumped up and about 80% of this liquid is absorbed. If it gets too thick, we can always add some more chicken stock in if we need to. Oh, you know what else we should add? Totally optional. We're throwing in just a little red pepper flake. I don't want it spicy, but I just want a hint of heat.
I like that hint of heat there.
I'm telling you what, look, it's already doing its thing.
Yeah.
So most of our liquid is gone and it's not quite done yet. So I'm adding some chicken stock, a little more chicken stock in here. I'm gonna turn the heat up just a tad and make sure that it has plenty of liquid to cook that orzo and get it nice and soft. So our orzo is done. We are gonna add in some lemon zest of half a lemon. We're just gonna add some lemon juice too, not too much. Okay, let's stir that around. Now we've got that basil that we chopped earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off as well. We're done cooking at this point. We need to add some cheese. We've got some Parmesan cheese that I grated really finely. Don't need a lot, about a third to a half a cup. We're gonna let that melt down. And then while that's melting, we're gonna add in our turkey to heat that through. Okay, we're just gonna let this heat through for just a minute or two, and then it's gonna be time to eat. This came together so quickly. We had to go to the grocery store for none of it. This was perfect for tonight.
Let's see what we got here. Wow! That is really good, sweetheart.
Yeah.
A little bit of spicy from the red pepper flake, creamy, cheesy, garlicky, and then the orzo. It's just such a great texture.
I love orzo.
This is, I think the salt is perfect.
Oh, good. Okay.
I mean, I love the little hint of spice, the red pepper flake, so I'm glad that you added that.
Thanks.
And it's just great consistency. Oh man, that lemon flavor, garlic, lemon, creamy.
I'm so glad.
The tomatoes just add just a little bit of, just some, I guess some acidity, you know?
Right.
You get some of the tomato flavor that combines with the cream, so it's like creamy, tomatoey,
Yeah.
buttery, garlicky. There's no butter in it though.
No,
it's
but
like,
there's olive oil.
yeah, but it's smooth.
Well, I'm so glad. While he enjoys that smooth, let me show you. We got a fire going in there, so if you saw light kind of dancing there on the wall and on the door, that's what that's from. He's gonna chow down, which means I need to chow down, so I'll be back. I had to take my glasses off to eat.
Was that what you craved?
Yes, this is what I wanted tonight. Oh my goodness.
Yay!
So, what a great way to use up the last of our turkey.
Yes.
It did not go to waste. It tastes wonderful in this.
That's a home run right there.
I love this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something we could make all the time because we always have these ingredients on hand. Always.
Yeah.
So, home run for sure. Make this one. Today, we are just making a very simple homemade chicken noodle soup. So much better for you than the canned stuff. And it's so easy. It doesn't take much effort at all. So the first thing we need to do is cook some chicken to put into the soup. So I'm gonna get started here on some chicken. I'm going to air fry this chicken because we just need cooked chicken for the recipe. So I have one chicken breast here that I cut in half, and I'm just gonna season it with a little bit of poultry seasoning and some adobo seasoning. I preheated my air fryer to about 380, and I'm gonna pop these in for 12 minutes, and then we'll check on them and see how they're doing. While our chicken cooks, I'm just going to chop this small onion. Let me get a paper towel because I can smell that thing. I would love it if I had some celery, but y'all know we just used the last of our bad celery the other day for some beef stew. You may have seen that video. I do have some carrots on hand, so I'm going to peel and chop a few carrots. These carrots are pretty small, so I'm just gonna slice them thinly. I don't have to cut them in half anymore. You know what, I'm gonna do one more carrot. Those carrots are so small, so let's just do one more. I'm gonna let this rest for just a minute, and then I'm gonna chop all of this up. I've got this Dutch oven heating to about medium heat. You need about a tablespoon of butter in there, so I'm gonna throw that in and let that melt. So I just added our onion to our butter. If you have celery, do that at this point as well. But we're just gonna let this soften for about 5 minutes on medium heat. So our onions are done. At this point, we need to add in between 6 and 8 cups. I'm gonna go closer to 8 cups of chicken broth because I think I have a little more noodles than the original recipe calls for. So this is 6 cups here, this container. I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit because we are gonna bring it up to a boil. It is also time to add our carrots in with our chicken broth. You need about a cup of carrots sliced. We're gonna add in our chicken too. I'm just using what I have on hand, which is about a half a bag, a little less than half a bag of some egg noodles. I think the recipe calls for a cup and a half. This is probably a little more than that. And we need to add some seasonings too. Some salt and pepper and some basil and oregano. We can always taste the salt at the end and add more if we need it. And then a half a teaspoon each of basil and oregano. Okay, let's stir all of this together and we're gonna let it come up to a boil. We have come up to a boil. So let's reduce our heat to about medium low. And we're gonna let this simmer for a good 20 minutes. Why I'm heating up the oven. If you saw Tuesday's video, you saw that I had a large, the French baguette, and I'd had about half of it left. We used some of it last night with our dinner, but today I figured we would use the rest of it with our chicken noodle soup. So I just buttered it. I'm gonna stick it in the oven. I'm also gonna do some garlic salt on top of it so it's like a garlic toast with our soup. Well, I think that bowl is one of the prettiest bowls of chicken noodle soup I've ever seen.
It is very pretty.
I know.
It is. What a very thoughtful meal, considering that we are under the weather.
We are. You're doing the best of all three of us.
I'm hanging in there. Praise the Lord.
Yeah. Cole is struggling the worst. And then I have just recently kind of started struggling. So here we are.
Wow. That soup is really rich.
Good.
And delicious. A really powerful chicken
Good.
flavor.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like a hearty chicken noodle soup.
Great.
It's very chunky.
It is very chunky, that is for sure. All right, Cole, do you approve, honey?
Yes.
Bless his little heart. Yes.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
Okay.
Great seasonings.
Good.
Very chicken in an
Uh-huh.
Egg noodles are a nice touch.
Yeah, I love egg noodles in this. I mean, you could always use a different type of pasta if you wanted to, but egg noodles are just so light, so I've really grown to love egg noodles over the years, but I'm going to dig in. I want to have a piece of bread first.
Starting with the bread.
That has been soaking in the chicken
Yeah.
broth.
Good stuff, isn't it?
The carrots are not mush, but they are not crunchy at all.
Yes.
They are the perfect consistency. 20 minutes was wonderful for that. And just the flavors. The flavors are so good that had plenty of time to kind of all, your favorite word, meld together. It's delicious. Simple. Such a simple homemade soup that's so much better than coming from a can.
For sure. Yeah, this.
I've gotten to where I can't really eat canned chicken noodle soup. It's so salty. Ugh, it is just not my favorite. So this is much better.
All right. Well, we're just not feeling too good today. We've got some kind of head cold funk going on in the house. Mandy's in there working a little bit, just trying to keep her mind occupied and off of feeling bad. And I'm trying to do the same. One of the things that I crave when I have a head cold like this is a really good, thick, rich chicken stew. And so I'm looking forward to having that. And that's what we're going to make today. Simple ingredients, depth of flavor, and we're going to add a couple ingredients that I've never personally added to a stew. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's get started. Hey, darling.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
In here working.
I am.
And you're not feeling good.
I'm feeling a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think you feel worse today than I do. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's pretty close. He's a couple days behind me, so yeah.
Yeah. The funk is real up in here.
Well, I've got my box of tissues here, and I'm sitting here editing. So I'm working, and he's gonna work because you're gonna make us some
chicken stew. It's time to make it.
I'm so excited. That's gonna be so nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. It's okay that you're in your house coat at noon. It's appropriate.
I'm dressed.
Attire.
I'm dressed. I just was cold, so I had to put it on top.
Yep.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye. All right, y'all. We got some prep work to do. We just need to chop up some vegetables. First thing we're going to chop up is our Yukon Gold potatoes. We're just going to leave the skin on. You can use whatever potatoes you like, but we're going to go with these gold potatoes here. You really just need 2 medium size, but we had these left, so I might as well just use all of them. I'm just going to run the knife through these potatoes again, just to make them somewhat smaller. Use your I can't even talk. You can use your vegetable chopper if you want to get all of the pieces uniform, but I'm not too worried about them being all the same size in a stew. All right, next up we got a couple of stalks of celery. Just going to run the knife through here, cutting this one in half. Just chop them up. We just really need a couple of medium-sized carrots here. We've got one extra one that we had left over, so I'm going to go ahead and include that one as well. Skin these and get them sliced up. All right, we got our potatoes and celery and carrots chopped up. We've got one more ingredient to chop, and that's our garlic. You need 3 cloves. We're doing 3, and I guess you could call it a half. It's just a very small clove. So we'll chop these up and get that ready as well. Man, that garlic smells good. All right, now we've got all of our vegetables chopped and ready to go. Let's move on to the stove. All right, we do actually have some more chopping to do. We want to chop up these chicken thighs here. I'm just using boneless, skinless thighs. We're going to chop these up into bite-sized pieces and then salt and pepper them. And we'll go ahead and set these in the refrigerator until we're ready for them. Okay, y'all, we've got our cast iron Dutch oven here. We're going to start it up. Let's heat it up to somewhere about medium high-ish. All right, so our pan has come up to, or our pot has come up to temperature. Now we're going to have some arts and crafts time and cut up some bacon and add it to the pot. pan pot. All right, now that our bacon is nice and crispy, we're going to take it out of the pan. We're going to leave all of that wondrous, amazing, flavorful bacon grease in there. All right, we're just going to add our chicken right here into the pot. We'd like to have a pretty good sear, at least on one side. So we're going to let that happen, and then once it's ready, we'll actually remove the chicken from the pot. All right, y'all, this pot is screaming hot, as you can see. Kind of move the chicken pieces around a little bit. You can kind of see that some of them have a little bit of color on them. All right, so we're going to go ahead and remove our chicken. Turn our pan back down to about medium-high-ish. All right, we're going to add a couple of tablespoons of butter. Let that melt down real good. All right, we're going to add our celery and our onion. Our celery and our carrots. And y'all, I just now remembered that I was supposed to cut up onions in this. Look, I ain't never done this before. Look, I'm just gonna have to fake it till I make it. I'm gonna have to chop up the onion real quick. I chopped that onion faster than anything I've ever chopped in my life, trying to get it in the pot. So we've got one large onion going in. Actually, I would say that was a medium-sized onion, a large onion. We're gonna go ahead and cook these veggies until they get nice and soft. And the onions are nice and translucent and everything. All right, it's time to add our 3 cloves of garlic. Okay, we're gonna add a teaspoon paprika, and then we're gonna add a teaspoon of dried thyme. And we're gonna cook these until everything gets real nice and fragrant. All right, now we're gonna add a couple of tablespoons of all-purpose flour. We're just gonna cook this for a minute or so just to kind of remove that raw taste of the flour. All right, we're gonna add a little bit of dry white wine here. You don't have to do this. You can use extra chicken broth if you'd like to. And then we wanna use that and sort of deglaze the bottom of the pan here. So we're gonna really scrape up much as we can those flavorful bits on the bottom of the pot. All right, now that that's incorporated, let's add our chicken back to the pot. Quick stir. Now we're gonna start pouring in our chicken broth. We're gonna use 3 cups of this, and then 1 cup of an ingredient that I've never used in a chicken stew before. It's this bone broth here. 3 cups of this into our pot, and then we're gonna add a cup of this bone broth here. All right, now we're gonna bring this up to a boil. Turn my heat up some here. We got to add the potatoes as well. Forgot to do that. Let's go ahead and add these, stir those into the pot, let that come up to a boil. All right, look y'all, we're bringing this up to a boil. I want to go ahead and add a couple of bay leaves to this. Why not? Add those 2 jokers in there like that. And we are almost to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, we'll reduce the heat to somewhere around low, medium low. We'll pop the lid on, and we have the eternal wait. And if you ever get to where you want your stew thicker, just bring it up to a boil like it is right now, and then mix in some cornstarch in there, and that will thicken it up. Very nice. I like a real thick stew. We're going to reduce the heat back to low again, pop the lid back on, and then once those potatoes get tender, we'll come back over here, and we might actually mash a few potatoes in there as well, just a little bit, just enough to make the stew even thicker. All right, y'all, our potatoes are nice and tender. Now, we're gonna add a few more ingredients. The first of which are these steamed edamame in place of frozen peas. You know Mandy, she ain't about to do no peas. It ain't happening. A person had left a comment in one of our recent videos that we could try this shelled edamame in place of the frozen peas. So that's what we're gonna add. There it is. All right, got my spoon. So now we're gonna stir that in. See if we can fish out them bay leaves while we're at it. Can I find the other one? There's one more in here. I know you're in here. There she is. Couple more ingredients and we're gonna be done. The next of which is gonna be some Worcestershire sauce. We're gonna add about a tablespoon of the Dub sauce here, just enough. And then we're gonna add a teaspoon of this original Dijon mustard. All right, stir this up. All right, at this point, I'm gonna take a little bit of a taste here, see how we're doing. Oh my goodness. Let me get my mixing chopper. And I'm just gonna kind of do this a little bit here just to see if we can get a few of those potatoes to make it a little more thicker. A little more thicker, a little thicker. How about that? I love this tool. So handy. All right, we're gonna pop the lid back on for about 5 or 6 more minutes just to bring it back up.
Look at me sitting in the hot seat.
You are in the chair.
Well, we figured like that just made the most sense since he cooked it. I've got to taste it.
You got this.
But I have to take off my glasses. I wish y'all could smell this. It has been torture in this house for the last hour or so, just smelling all of this.
Is it good?
No. It's amazing. Oh my word, babe.
Is it rich?
Mm-hmm. Let me get a hunk of chicken.
Get you a hunk of chicken.
Thighs?
Thighs.
Thighs. It's falling apart.
Yay!
When he said chicken stew, in my mind, I'm thinking a milky consistency because that's what I'm used to. It reminds me of a vegetable soup. But it is so comforting. And that edamame, I am not mad at that.
It's time.
The double take.
Man, that is delicious. Wow. That is some deep flavor in that.
Yeah. It is the perfect soup for if you're sick.
Yeah, this is going to be like an immuno 1-2 punch. Man, that is tremendous. And the chicken just falls apart, tender. Oh man, texture difference there with the edamame.
Well, you should pat yourself on the back. This was all you. Okay, y'all. You need to make this one. Our chicken noodle soup that we had the other day was great, and so is this.